Not one, not two, three. Welcome back to RB95. Today, we are doing a triple review of the Cruz Ramirez variants in my collection. The Disney Store version, the Mattel trainer, and Francis beltline. I'll be comparing each one to the original 155 scale Cruz as we go. If you are enjoying the video, hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and ring that bell so you never miss an upload of my upcoming videos. So, let's get started! Let's just put this on focus here. There we go. Features a very bright saturated yellow finish, but on the original has a slightly more muted traditional yellow paint. But taking a look at her face details, mouth and expression, the Disney Store version has a wide, happy, open mouth smile, but the original has a smaller, closed mouth smirk. And taking a look at her eyes and eyebrows, of course, here it is. On the Disney Store variant, her brown eyes are wide with a line printed right through the center of her eyebrows, but the original one has a standard solid eyebrows and a more determined look. But let's take a look at her headlights, of course, and here we go. Here's already her front hood. Here it is. The headlights are simpler and more stylized, but on the original features more realistic detail headlights graphics. But now, let's take a look at her roof first before we head to the sides. Here we are. Here it is, her roof that is empty and her back glass, same colors. I can already tell by that. But anyways, let's take a look at the sides, and we're going to pay attention to the tires and the rims. Both models feature gray rims, of course. The Disney Store uses a thicker, more rubber-like sports tires that give her a higher stance, but the original one has a standard thinner racing tires. And guess what, by the way? You can see here on the Disney Store version it has a line on the side glass, but the original, the 155 scale, it doesn't. Right is same as the left. But anyways, here is her backside. Here it is. Just putting this up close, that's better. Okay, here we go. The Disney Store version has a bright solid red tail lights. The original one has darker, more detailed red lights. And taking a look at her license plate, here it is. On the Disney Store version, it includes her C0106A license plate detail and, of course, her gray logo. On the back bumper, the Disney Store variant features a solid gray logo, and it doesn't have the letters on it, unlike the color versions of other models as well, but you can see on the original 155 scale, we can see it has the letters on there, the CRZ. You know all this anyway, but yeah, that is all I have to say about this one. But the floor pan, aka the base, here it is. Now before we do, let me read you this. See Disney Pixar made in China. Disney Store Ltd. London. W6 9PE B101 Q31 703 GL FAC-024455 16355 CE. This is all Disney's credit for making this car. And by the way, I got this big version at Disney Store in Eden Center Mall in Toronto, Ontario, along with the Disney Store Cars 3 Lightning McQueen and a Cars 3 Disney Store Jackson Storm. But anyways, yep, let me just show you the difference and then we'll head straight to the next car to review. Anyways, here we are. The Disney Store base is very detailed with modeled mechanical parts and usually held together by screws, but the original one has much flatter, simpler plastic floor pan. Yep, and you already know it's already the same floor pan design, but this one's darker and this one is brighter. And what's different is the Disney Store version has the rectangle holes in the center, but on the original one it doesn't. But anyways, yep, that is all I have for you. And yep, and don't forget her exhaust pipes. Here it is. Now you can see it better. Her exhaust pipes. That is all I'm going to say now, but time for the next car to review. Put it right here, and then we place this. Oh, And then we place the trainer version. Here we go. Let me just put them up close here and put them on focus. Here we go. These models share the exact same solid yellow paint finish. There's no difference in the shade or the gloss between the two. Now, the face details. Here it is. Mouth and expression. Both have the same confident closed mouth smirk. Eyes and eyebrows. The brown eye color and determined expression are identical. And the only difference here is, let me show you, the headset. This is the only major change. The trainer version features a small black headset piece molded onto her right side, which she wore while coaching McQueen. But the original does not have this. But anyways, taking a look at her front hood and headlights. You already see the front hood. And speaking of which, taking a look at her black line, of course, you can see it's very bold on the trainer version, but on the original one it's thinner. They share the same detailed headlight graphics with the eternal lens look, but here is her roof, of course. You already know that. Very empty, the same back glass color, all of this, but taking a look at her sports tires and rims. Both cars feature the exact same gray rims, and the tires both use the standard black racing tires with a smooth finish. The trainer has her side glass line, but on the original one, it doesn't. And you already know, right is same as the left. Here is her backside. The backlights both have the same dark red taillight decals. The logo on the rear bumper both featured the solid gray logo, centered above the license plate area, of course. And yes, they have the letters on there, same license plate number, of course. But you can see on the original one is a bit thinner, but on the trainer one, it is bold and dark black. But anyways, the license plate, both versions include her signature, as you already know, C01-06A license plate. And now time for the floor pan, aka the base. Here we go. Let me just read you all the information here. See Mattel 1186MJ1NL M37A GBE74. See Disney Pixar made in Thailand. Mattel's credit of working on this car. And of course her exhaust pipes. Here it is. They shared the same black plastic floor pan. And of course they have the same design already. But that is all I have to say for this Cruz Ramirez. Time to do the next one. Here we go, let's put them up close on focus. They share a similar yellow base, but the Francis beltline has a dirty look with brown mud splatter effects. And also, that Francis beltline is solid, and the original one is just so metallic and chromatic. Both have brown eyes, but the Francis beltline version has slightly darker, more prominent eyes to match her tough derby look. The original one has her eyes yellow, of course. That is all I'm going to say. But anyways, let's take a look at her front hood and headlights. They share the same headlights graphic style. That is all I'm going to say about that, but her roof, of course, solid and chromatic, and you can see they still have the back glass same color. But let's take a look at her sides, of course. Her left side already. Here we are. Let's pay attention to the rim and sports tires. The sports tires, of course. The Francis beltline version has mud pig tires with brown paint on the sidewalls to look like she's been racing in the dirt. But on the original one, her rims are just normal already. And it's not so muddy. Her tires are just so clean and shine. That's all I'm going to say about this. But we got, let me show you up here, a number 20 on there. And you can see there's more mud splatters along her bottom. And right is same as the left. That's all I'm going to say, but here we go. Here is her backside. Here we are, backlights. Both have the same red taillight decals, but you can see on the Francis Beltline, her backlights are a very bright red, but on the original one, it is just a dark red. Logo and license plate both featured the solid gray logo on the rear and her signature C01-06A license plate. And you can already see her logo has the letters on there. And you can see on the Francis Beltline, there is mud splatters along her bottom. The floor pan, and that's a wrap for this triple review. Let me just start with this. Here we go. See Disney Pixar made in China. 257 EAA. DXV33C Mattel 1186 MJ1NL. All Mattel's credit to working on this car. And I love her floor pan, it's so brown. Let me just do a quick comparison here to tell you what's different. Here we go. You can see on the Francis Beltline often features a textured or bumpy base to simulate mud buildup from the Thunder Hollow track, but on the original has a standard flat, smooth, black plastic floor pan. This is all I'm going to say. And, ladies and gentlemen, that is all I have for you today. Let me know in the comments, which one do you prefer? Let me put them all together. That's better. Which one do you prefer? The original one, the 155 scale, the Francis Beltline, the Disney Store, or the trainer version? Let me know in the comments. And let me know in the comments if you're going to pick up those three at your local stores. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, like, comment, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming Cars Diecast reviews. Red Blue 95, signing off.